Hey, what's going on, guys? Komak again here. Last video we did write a function to get the game phase score, and this time, depending on this score, we would be defining the actual game phase. This might be opening or end game or a middle game, and we would be assigning the values to both material and positional scores respectively, depending on what kind of game phase this is. And again, like for pure opening and for the pure end game game states, we would be assigning the pure values either for material or for positional scores. Remember, we have two sets of those scores, so the first set is for opening, the second set is for end game for material and for positional p scores. I would be showing this along the way as well. And also, again, like I would be referencing my pre-coded stuff, even though I'll try to code everything from scratch again, just to better understand this myself at very least. So without further ado, let's actually start writing some code. So we have, before anything else, I just want to show you the enumerated constants we have. So opening, end game, and the middle game. And these two, opening and end game, 0 and 1 respectively, they would be used to index either the material score array, so this first index would be either opening or end game, and the same for the positional scores. So in case of the opening, we would be referencing these values that regards to the opening stage, and in this case, and otherwise would be referencing this scores that regards to the end game stage. And if this would be the middle game stage, we would be this is known as interpolation. So we would be interpolating values between the value of how it is in the opening table and the corresponding value in in the end game table. So I would give you a formula that I was given kindly by TalkChess community members. So how to calculate that sort of an interpolation. So without further ado, let's actually start. So I want to go back to my evaluate function, and let's open the terminal and try to compile and run the code. So make debug. And if it compiles, I want to run the BBC binary executable. Okay, and what I see now is, so this is the game phase score. Now we need to store this variable. So actually, actually we already done this. So this is the game phase score. And now, depending on this game phase score, we'll need to assign the game phase. So actually, let's define the game phase in this case. So game phase, and this might be either opening, middle game, or end game. So you remember the enumeration, right? So I just want to create this integer game phase here, and at the moment, well, let's let the game phase would be equal -1 to make sure that it's neither opening nor middle game nor end game nor opening. Well, actually, I didn't even assign any value to this because it would get assigned anyway. So we can actually not doing this, or we can do this. It doesn't matter really that much. Well, let's make it -1, just it's a bit more right way of doing things, I guess. And now the condition. So like I was describing in the previous part, so depending on where this game phase score is available at, we would be assigning our values respectively. So we want to pick up game phase based on game phase score. So now let me just again go to, let's make material score like this. So I just want to grab these two constants to have their names basically available every time. I just command them to see the variable names to not miss anything. So in case if our game phase score is greater than this value, which is the lower bound of the opening phase score, of the opening phase, in this case we want to assign the opening, assign the game phase to opening. So I can simply say if and game phase score is greater than this opening phase score. In this case, game phase would be equal to opening. Another condition. So if this game phase score is actually less than this value and game phase score. In this case, the game phase would be equal to endgame. And in case if this value, the game phase value is between these two values, in this case our game phase would be the middle game. So I can say if, and so game phase is greater than end game phase. Oh my god, and or sorry guys, I just sorry, I just need to I just used else here, basically, that's it. So if this is less than, yeah, so we don't even need this, so we can just say simply else, because yeah, why do I do this? So here we can use else if, and here just simply say else. So if our score is not greater than this value, and if our value is not less than this value, then the value is in between of these two values. So that's the reason why we can say else, and game phase would be equal to middle game, and that's quite pretty it. So just to give I don't remember, did I have that commentary? Well, forget that. So we don't really need this stuff anymore, and from now on we would be relying only on this game phase variable. So we start with our scores. Here there would be kind of two cases. So it would be either the pure score or it would be an interpolated score. Now the pure score would be only in the opening and in the endgame. Just want to quickly check out my code here to make sure I didn't miss anything. Yeah, so if game phase, opening or endgame, yeah, exactly. So we just can say here if game phase is equal to opening, or game phase is equal to endgame. In this case, we score material the following way. So material would be plus equals and material score, and we're using game phase as the first index to pick up the appropriate set of values, so either the opening values or the endgame values. And again, like, remember this, so this might be either a 0 opening or 1 endgame. So we just pick up the appropriate set for our material weight values here, and yeah, indexed by the piece. This is it. So just want to make sure that I did everything correctly. Game phase and the piece. And now this, I just use this commentary and then trying to use the formula to actually create to calculate this interpolation. This is a little bit too overwhelming for me at the moment, but at least as a code monkey can, I can try to make use of what was given to me already. Okay, so here is the formula. So just want to add, well, I think this is self-explanatory, so let's say score material weights with pure opening or endgame scores in case that we have this game phase equals to opening or endgame. And in this case we want to interpolate the values, so interpolate scores in middle game. And this explanation actually regards to how this interpolation is actually kind of done. Okay, so just want to fix the layout here. Okay, so what do we have here? So now in order to calculate interpolated score for a given phase, we use this formula. Same for material and for the positional scores. So we need to take the score for the opening. So the score for the opening might be either the material score for the opening or the positional score for the opening, depending on what in particular we're now calculating. So as far as now we're calculating our material weight, then the very first thing to do, well, so this would be anyway, this would be score plus equals. And now I'll use this sort of a definition to have a multi-line formula just to fit, just because it would be too long in one line. So the very first thing we need to do, we need to take our score, material score for the opening. So we can say material score for the opening and the particular piece, and then we need to multiply this by the game phase score, so the current game phase score that we have. Okay, so just this value, whatever game phase score is now equal to, and then we need to say plus, and then we need to take the material score for the end game. So here I use the end game and multiply this by, now we need to take opening phase score, which is the constant. So let me show you what this constant is equal to. So this is the opening phase score, this is the constant. So everything that below is below this value is considered to be the phase score for middle games. So just to bear in mind. So we need to subtract from this constant, we need to subtract our current game phase. Current game phase here should be score, because game phase is just a kind of flag, more likely. So minus and game phase score here, and then all this stuff should be divided by the opening phase score. Paste. So I will now try to compile this. I hope this compiles, and also I just want to make sure that I did everything correctly, because this is incredibly important here. So material score opening and piece multiplied by game phase score, which I did, then material end game and piece, and multiplied by the subtraction, so opening score, opening phase score minus game phase score, and all this stuff is divided by the opening phase score. Okay, just brilliant. So it would be actually nice to show how in particular this is working. Well, I don't even know how to do this. So if I just start taking the pieces away, well, probably let's go for, well, let's actually go for our start position. So we just take the start position here and bring it right over in here and just get rid of the pieces. So let's make it like this. So just to give you an idea, so this position without the pieces with only pawns, it would already be the case for, well, actually just let me show you another little trick. So let's say instead of all of this stuff, I just want to print let's call this interpolated material. I just want to show you the case when we hit this else statement. That's it. And here I just want to print this would be let's call it pure material. So now let's have a look, which one do we hit. So in the we have this, okay, pure material. So with this, where all the pieces are on board, we hit in the pure material for every piece. But if we're just trying to get rid of these pieces, well, probably here it would be the pure endgame material, by the way. Yeah, this should be the pure endgame material. So also pure material, but only for pawns. Yeah, but if we now just start adding, well, let's start by adding some knights like this. So this, so we don't calculate anything yet, right? So this is still the pure material, but if we just add another knight here, like this already should be the interpolated material, and this is it. So if we just calculate the game phase score for this position, it would be greater than our constant of endgame upper bound of 518. So that's kind of it. And just to give you an idea that the scores would be different, so let's say in this case, if we just try to find, let's try to find, well, actually, well, let's just really want to show you this stuff, guys. So, okay, so for a knight, okay, so for a knight now this would be, so this should print this for a knight. It would be printing for pawns as well, or hold on a sec. Do we? I'm just wondering. Oh, we don't yet print the score, so let's print F and the score of the position itself. So decimal value, and it will be printing the values for, yeah. So it's strange when this is still 0. Okay, guys, I'm just trying to think how it's better to show this stuff in particular. I'm not sure. Just oh, we have this equal because we take care of all the pieces of all the pawns. So let's try to make it only if piece is equal to white knight. Just want to get the score for a knight. So 287, and if we just go to our material scores, then we'll see that this value of 287 is something between this 337 and 251. So if we just, so that's because the value is interpolated. So let's say that we just get rid of this knight to get a pure evaluation for knight. So this would be 200. This should have been, so pure material. Oh no, yeah, now actually okay, so let's go to what do I do? What am I doing? So here, let's just want to make this score again if piece is equal to knight. Just want to show you that the score would be 281 now. So this is the pure score, pure opening score for a knight. So see, like this was different. So here we had the interpolated score, and here we had this kind of pure score. But obviously, just wanted to give you an idea like how the scores are getting changed. And now the only thing we need to make actually kind of sure is that our score should be equal to 0. So now it won't be because we're doing only the knights. Okay. Now this should be equal to 0, I hope. Okay, it still doesn't. Now this is getting a little bit strange. Okay, so what did I do wrong? Oh, that's because it's not the knights are not equal. Yeah, so everything is actually correct here. So 1 knight 6. Yeah, the material just wasn't equal, so now this should be 0. Okay. Anyway, I just need to make sure that it's the same like in the previous code. So if equals opening, game phase and piece. Okay, and here still should be the same. Okay, so now we're done with interpolating our material if needed. And again, like the idea of how we're supposed to be interpolating our positional scores are literally the same. So we would be using this condition like if game phase, actually we can use, hold on a second, I'm just wondering, so we can use like if game phase is equal to middle game, it would be just probably faster. So I'm just wondering, why didn't I do this initially? So I can just swap them, I believe. So if I can simply say like if game phase, I hope I don't break anything, is equal to middle game, and otherwise, yeah, it seems more logical. It would be just faster because last branching, the last branching, the faster it goes actually. Okay, so here else. So this should be actually the same now, and we should still be hitting this interpolation. Just want to quickly check this. So printf interpolation, just to make sure we're still hitting that. Obviously, yeah. Okay, so hitting the interpolation. Oh, where have you gone? Okay, my mouse is going crazy. I'm sorry guys, sorry for this. Okay, so yeah, this is much better idea. So that's another reason why I'm making YouTube tutorials. I'm just fixing my issues that I've been doing before the videos actually. Okay, so score is still equals to 0. Let's actually make a new line here as well. Okay, and so interpolate scores in middle game. And let's actually put this description right over in here. Yeah, I think this would be just a better way of doing things. Okay, so calculating interpolated scores, and else just calculating this sort of stuff here. Okay, so I think this is, well, this is just fine. And now we can go for dealing with our positional stuff. So I just uncomment all my positional stuff at the moment, and probably, yeah, the very first thing I would like to do, so I'm gonna be, well, actually let me make it like so. So I just want to uncomment everything that is not related to positional scores. So all the skin safety, just to take it away, all this mobility to take it away, all this stuff to be taken away as well. So to have a pure experiment, also commenting out the scores because I would be changing them later on. Okay, so here just this is enough, here this is enough, because otherwise at very least it just won't compile, because it's still referenced into some variables that no longer exists, and probably even here. So just trying to comment out everything here. Okay. Later on I hope to get that back, but I will no longer be using some, I will no longer be blindly kind of adding some values for specific evaluation, stuff like double point score, things like that, because this blind considering of the values is not, it's just a way to nowhere. Okay, so it's a little bit of a routine, but this is really essential. So at the moment I hope to at least not having any errors. Okay, and let's actually start with considering the scores for our pawns. So I will now be reusing this, so interpolate scores in the middle game. So this construction would always be the same. So we want to interpolate values in the middle game, and this would be almost the same but with a slight difference. So instead of dealing with the material scores, we actually want to deal with our positional scores. Positional scores like this. Positional scores, okay. And so the game phase is still the same, but also we need to add a piece here. So in this case we would be using our pawn constant. So remember we did define them. In my initial version, what I was doing, I was actually using this pre-coded piece codes, but it might be a little bit confusing if you say have black pawns and you're using this white pawn constant, like what's going on there. So in order to avoid this confusion, I've added this new constants to make sure that they are different, even though they are the same as the white pawn, as the white piece codes. But anyway, so now we need to reference our positional scores, both in the opening and the endgame. All this interpolation calculation is the same based on the game phase score. So the only thing that would be different are these values, and actually otherwise it would be again the same. So let's say otherwise okay, so score materials with pure, let's say with pure scores in opening or endgame. Okay, so this is it. So now we make it positional score and not the game phase, or hold on a second, it's gonna be a game phase. Yeah, probably it should be a game phase. Yeah, this should be a game phase. Okay, so the game phase would be either opening or end game here. Piece, and also we need to make sure this is the pawn. And now at the moment it already should give some positive number for the evaluation of white pawn positional scores. So I'm a bit confused why this didn't happen. Okay, so just what did I do wrong? Game phase, pawn and square. a little bit strange, to be honest. I hope we just get in here. So white pawn. Okay, just want to check that out. So if we're getting into white pawns, okay, so all the white pawns seems to be, they are sane, and this should be the interpolated value. So I'm just wondering what's kind of wrong here, so it doesn't print. Just want to make sure that it's interpolated. Sorry guys, I'm too noob in this, so I really need to check everything by hand. So it is interpolated. I'm just a little bit confused by the fact that the scores are not calculated. It's a bit strange. Okay, so I just want to go for positional score in the opening. Positional score in the opening. So we have the pawn. By the way, let's make sure that the pawn is. What would it be? Too long. Okay, pawn. So yeah, pawn is equal to 0. This seems to be fine. This seems to be fine. So now what's wrong here? So square. Oh, what have I done? Not by piece. What have I done? By square, obviously. So it's positional stuff. Obviously, it's indexed by the square. I'm sorry, guys. I'm really sorry for this. So now this should be a non-zero value, some positive value for white pieces. Okay, 32. Yeah, that's exactly the value I had. This is good. Okay, so I don't need this line anymore. This one anymore. So perfect. And now I just want to grab this value and use it for our black pawns. The difference would be that we want to negate the score, and everything else is still the same, so it's still the pawn, so nothing really changed much. And if I did everything correctly, the score should now be equal to 0. Oh my god, I did something horribly wrong. Okay, so yeah, I remember I already had that error, by the way. Oh, hold on a sec. Why do I have piece there? Should be a square, and the square should be here. It's probably not the reasons, but still. Okay, guys. Sorry, I just need to go for this precise comparing of the values. We have positional score, opening pawn, square, game phase score, plus positional score endgame, multiplied by opening phase minus game phase. Okay, divided by all the stuff divided by opening phase score, positional score, game phase, pawn, and the square. Okay, and what's the difference in this black pawn? Okay, there should be some difference. So game phase, middle game, score minus equals opening. Well, this is a bit strange. It's all kind of the same. I could only remember why was it happening. So are my indices okay? I really feel confused, guys. I'm sorry, but no idea. Okay, so let's go a bit different way. So I just want to get rid of this for a while. That's, by the way, the way how I was initially debugging this. Yeah, so the number itself is horribly wrong. So we need to figure out why this is happening. Okay, I'm sorry guys, just in order to avoid wasting your time, I just want to try my values from the existing code. If they would work, then I'll try to figure out what is actually wrong there. If not, I would be even more confused. Okay, so probably something is wrong within the values itself. So let's try to find the mistake. So just to make it a little bit the same format. Okay. I have no idea what is different. So this line, oh, mirror, we need to mirror, obviously. Sorry guys, it's just I'm forgetting this all the time. I'm forgetting this all the time. I'm really sorry. So obviously, like we did before, in all the pieces, we did use this mirror square instead of just the square itself. So we need to mirror square every time. Now this should be equal to minus 32 as well, again, but this is already a different code. Okay, so now I release this code back. It's just really too many things to store in my mind. My mind is gonna be exploding soon. Okay, so now let's add this evaluation for nights. So just copy and go in for nights, paste this stuff in, and we need to change this piece to the night. And if I'm not mistaken, this should be literally it. This should be okay. Minus 47 seems to be true. And now let's try to make it for black night. And oh, no, not that fast. Not that fast. So, well, let's use this one. Just really need to make sure that mirror score. Okay. This line is also fine. Square, square. Okay. So here, mirror square, but this would be the night. And again, did I change the night? Obviously I didn't. Oh my god, this, I need to be more accurate. Okay, so pawn, pawn, pawn. And here we have night, night, night. Otherwise there would be horrible bugs during the game itself. Okay, night, night, night. And here we had pawn, pawn, pawn. Okay, and here we have night, 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 and minus score. So it now should be equal to 0. Evaluation should be equal to 0 again. Perfect. And now I just want to be adding pieces one by one. So now let's add the rook here. And add the rook here. No, not like this, like this. It should be still equal to 0. Okay, and now let's go to the rook. So I will grab the knight's code and bring it here. And now I need to change this to rook. Now it should give some positive score. Oh, what have I done? This is bishop. Well, okay, let's make it bishop. Yeah, so probably I'm too tired already. So let's make it a bishop. Okay. and here is the rook. So it should be a small positive number because of the rook, minus 11. Maybe rook just has a bad value there. This is possible. This is possible. Most likely. It just might have a penalty. So let's go to black rook. And if we just take this score. So as far as we've done this for bishop, let's actually make this for bishop here as well. So this would be bishop. We'll add bishop next. And here, this should be a rook. So I hope the score would be equal to 0 at the moment. Okay, perfect. And if you just now try to add a bishop here and bishop here, it should be still equal to 0 because we did add the values for bishop. But to make sure that this is working correctly, I just want to command out some, well, let's say, white bishop's code, and well, I'm not really sure the value would be negative. It might be positive if there is a penalty. But anyway, this should be a non-zero value at very least. Okay. So it's, yeah, it's positive, but probably it's just a penalty for a bishop at this stage of the game, I believe. So, anyway, at least it's not 0. This is already kind of good. So, let's get back to this. Okay. Now let's add the queens as well. So bishop, now queen, 4, queen, queen, and 4. The eval shouldn't change at the moment, just the queens appearing. Okay. So now let's go to case queen and add the code for queen. By the way, initial version of BBC didn't use queen table. Well, it's actually, it turned out it's a good idea to use the queen table as well. So here I just say queen, and this should be some non-zero value depending on either, yeah, so it still seems like a penalty for a queen in this stage of the game, which is quite pretty reasonable. Like, what the hell this queen is doing in the middle game? It should be developed somewhere. Okay, and king should be considered as well, but first let's get done with queens. Copy. So here I want to use queen. Okay. Okay, and the very last thing left here is just to add kings. So king and king here. And let's use the code for king. It's a very routine job, but it should be done very precisely, otherwise the horrible bugs are about to appear. So now this should be slightly different than the 0 value, -2, okay. Now if we add the code for king here, it should be equal back to 0. Okay. So king. Okay, so it should be equal back to 0. Perfect. And if you just now restore this position, so literally like the starting position, so just can now use the start position already. The score should be equal to 0 if I did everything correctly, and hopefully it is. Well, okay guys, so at this particular moment we are already at the stage where this version of our engine should actually beat in wise at the ultra bullet time control, so 30 seconds plus 0 seconds element. And I'm really tempted to check if this is really like so let's get rid of our unnecessary stuff here. Let's enable the UCI loop, try to make it for release, then hold our breaths, go into arena, and trying to enjoy the show, if any. So I really hope this is gonna be working like I did. Obviously it needs really a lot more tests, but at this moment we can at least say whether it's bug free or not. So I just want to manage the engines, so I get rid of these guys for a while. So this is the version I've been working with. So actually I just delete this version. I don't want this, and I will install the new engine. Well, obviously I did remove the BBC YouTube. Oh, internet failed. Oh, restored back. Cool. So source. Oh my god, let me find this. This should be tapered. Oh, sorry. What have I done? Nope. What have I done? Sorry guys, something horrible has happened. Oh no, this is horribly wrong. This is horribly wrong. Okay, let's try to find this by hands. ABCD ST, here it is. Interpolation, this is it. Okay, BBC. So this seems to be the version. So BBC, well, I just call it YouTube, but we know that this is the version for with this interpolated values. So CMK, just restore everything back. Okay. UCI protocol apply. Okay. So first I just want to make engine playing itself to make sure that the positions would be more or less symmetrical in terms of it's not kind of trying to make something better for. Well, hold on a second. It was a little bit different. It was playing bishop to b5, I believe. Well, I'm not really sure if well, it seems like slightly bit different game compared to what I've seen. Well, anyway, it seems to be more or less reasonable chess. But I obviously need to check everything. Okay guys, so sorry, but it's maybe I did some horrible bug in the code that I was preparing for this video. I'm not sure. Well, anyway, let's try to check everything precisely. So just really need to make sure it's the same. So pawns. So here I had pawns. Here I had the knights. Here I had the bishops, rooks, queens, kings, and then again pawns, knights, bishops, rooks, queens, and kings. Well, it seems to be just okay, but I'm a little bit confused by it didn't seem like exactly the same game I have seen when I was testing this stuff. It seems like that was bishop b5 instead of bishop d3. Well, okay, so pawn, 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 positional score, positional score. This is knight, 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 plus positional score bishop plus rook plus rook. Okay, queen plus king plus. Okay, minus pawn mirror square. Okay. So I hope it was just a square. Seems like okay. Now knight, mirror square. Here mirror square as well. Minus. Bishop. Mirror square. Okay. Rook. Mirror square. Minus. Queen. Minus. Mirror square. King. Minus equals. Positional score. Mirror square. Well, it seems to be fine actually. Okay, guys. So, well, I just afraid that if here is some sort of a bug, and I will now just start showing you this 30-second games versus Weiss, then Weiss would start crushing BBC, and you will say that I fooled you, but I really didn't. I just really want to say that my previous version did extremely well. So let's try to have a tournament. Well, I'm not gonna be going for this 8 games, so let's try to make 4 games. It won't really take long, and it's extremely interesting to have a look at this. So I want to use this BBC YouTube. Let's change the LO. So the previous version was for about, well, like this. Obviously this one is actually stronger than Weiss if I did everything correctly, but let's just keep the LO at the moment, and that's in the Weiss as well. So blitz 30 seconds. Okay, this should be just fine. So delete the results. Okay, so let's have a look. It's I would be making more tests, obviously. Okay, now hold on a sec, guys. Just one last thing. I forgot to add the book support. So manage. I've already. Oh my god! I've already added the Arena main book support for Weiss. Here, but I didn't yet do this for this version. So let's use Arena main book just to make it play in different games. And let's run the tournament one more time. So BBC is playing white, okay, and here the engine starting calculating. Okay, let's have a look. Okay, well, so far it seems to be developing its pieces, and you see like this early castling is what I had a great lack of, because I didn't really have this early castling stuff at all. My scores were too weird to castle just right in time. Well, it seems like Weiss is crushing BBC at the moment. Okay, but is actually BBC a piece up at the moment? Hold on a sec. Yeah, BBC is piece up. Can you believe this? BBC is piece up. Okay, so it seems like at least it's not worse at the moment, which is quite pretty nice already. So maybe it would even win the game. When the time is almost up, it's not really that great. So might be some mistakes, but it seems like white are clearly better now. Well, at least positionally, they are better. They have the same pawns. Don't tell me this would be a draw, please. Don't tell me this would be a draw. It's a better position, really. So queen, yeah, you should mate. Okay, please mate. You should mate. It's really Okay, total crush, come on, you just made, okay, thank God. So the first game is won by BBC with this new evaluation from the Pesto chess engine by Ronald Frederick. So it performs really nicely. Okay, so let's see what we'll have later on. Okay, so early castling, this is very good. Okay, now the pawn structure of black is really not that great, but we're going to the end game already. And remember that we did turn off the evaluation of the pawns completely, so pawns are not getting evaluated at all here. So it's equal on material at the moment. Okay. Well, this should be a draw, I believe, because it seems to be an equal position to my human eyes. Should be just a draw, if only some disaster is gonna happen. I don't know, I would have played b4 b5 before the rook went there. Okay, now this is getting worse. So is it gonna queen? Yeah, now white has an advantage, clearly. Yeah, most likely white is gonna win this game, but losing with black is not that bad, actually. Yeah, it's just losing now. Okay, time to get mated. Now. Okay, but let's see another game. So it's a Caro-Kann with e5. Still a bit strange choice not to take with a queen. Well, yeah, the theoretical variation seems to be taken with a queen, not with a c pawn. But we'll see what will happen here. So most likely black. Well, I thought black would be castling queenside, by the way. It didn't. Okay. But we got a kingside attack for whites. Okay, exchanging the rooks even more. Yeah. Well, anyway, even regardless from results, if you have ever tried to test the initial version of BBC versus Vice, you've probably seen that the positional play was just awful, completely awful. Well, here we have a very reasonable positional play. Well, obviously this is the very short time control, and it's not really kind of telling much. But anyway, so it's still okay. So it's okay. Is this gonna be a mate? Okay, and white is queen. Can you believe this? Well, not yet, but okay. So now it should be a win. This should be a win, really. This should be a win. Oh my God! Please don't lose on time. Just don't lose on time, please. Okay. So just try to take that damn knight away. Okay, just take that knight away. Okay. Just enough time to. Oh, okay, thank God. 2 seconds left. Okay. Let's see. So. Well, I really like the setup of black pieces. You have a look. It's just like a grandmaster, really. I really like the setup. This is so nice. Well, put in the bishop on c7. This is so nice positional move. Again, like without any sort of pawn evaluation and literally nothing but this pure positional square tables. This is extremely good positional play to my human eyes, really. So it doesn't seem that Weiss is weaker than BBC is weaker than Weiss, isn't it? Because the initial version of BBC was really weaker compared to the Weiss. So that's kind of it. I'll run more tests with the 2 minutes plus, I guess, 1 second increment, or I forget what's the particular time control they are doing in CCRL. Yeah, probably this game is about to be lost quite pretty soon. If only not. What? Oh my god, what has just happened? What has just happened? Did Weiss give a rook for a bishop? Okay, now BBC is rook up. Can you believe this? Can you believe this? It's a total crush. Total crush, absolutely. Oh my god, I can't believe this, really. So crushing. This is so crushing. But nobody ever died because of a check yet. So it should be a mate. This should be a mate. Please, this should be a mate. Okay. What's arena junction? Was it arena junction? Junction or what? What was it? Stalemate. Hold on a sec. Who did made this stalemate? Oh, why did manage to make a stalemate for some reason? No, this is a little bit strange. Why did manage to make a stalemate? I'm not sure whether this is a bug in BBC, because I remember like I did return the 0 score for the stalemate, so this shouldn't be. Well, anyway, the results. So we have this 3.5 for BBC and 2.5 for Weiss. So actually BBC won this tiny little match here. And yeah, probably the openings were different compared to what I was testing, and everything was actually kind of different. And yeah, I'm really a bit confused by why actually when BBC was playing versus itself, why didn't actually play bishop b5. So I'll just try again. Maybe something is gonna be different. Oh, just turn up the book. Well, okay guys, I just need to play around with this on my own, and I really need to check if, so maybe I just did some bugs in this version, maybe I did a bug in the version that I was preparing for this video, but at very least you've seen this with your own eyes, like how BBC actually won the game versus Weiss with only positional square tables and no other evaluation but this positional square tables, but using so-called tapered evaluation for soft transition between the stages of the game, so we can adjust the values appropriately. And we did the values for all the pieces, like in the opening and the end game, and then calculating the transition values. And also we had material scores for opening and for the end game, so the material weight of pieces was different as well. And these are the results. So I will double and triple check the code, and then actually I did this videos too fast. I didn't think that this would be too fast, so I don't even know what am I gonna be doing further on. There are some bugs to fix regarding not always showing the principal variation, and something wrong with the timing was reported by some of the guys on GitHub issuing the BBC, so I need to check that as well. So probably that's something that I would be doing at the very closest in the near future. So well, anyway, we'll see. And when I would be ready, I also really want to implement this so-called Texels tuning. Texels is the name of the chess engine that was initially implemented this technique. The technique allows to fine-tune the evaluation values and this p-square tables in particular. So see, like all these positional scores that we have in our engine taken from Pesto engine by Ronald Friedrich, they are actually really awesome here. So that's it. Well, okay guys, so I hope to see you in the next tutorials. I hope you learned something interesting out of this one. Yeah, until that time, and take care.